to be honest, things were pretty tough with me before we started working together, and that's why I'm definitely really glad that I was able to find you because I was really like anxious all the time about like women not knowing what to do, not knowing what was going on, like what were my struggles, and I think the worst part about it was before I worked with you, I actually worked with a few other coaches, and it they taught me some things, but it still wasn't really fixing like the core issues that I was having. And that actually ended up making me even more anxious and stressed because I was like, here, look, I'm working with these coaches and I'm still not able to solve my problem. And kind of like what my issues were not being able to, I feel like, meet and keep like high quality girls that I wanted, not understanding too why I wasn't able to keep them around. And even when I was talking to, let's say, a very attractive girl or, like a high quality girl, I'd always have this anxiety that she was going to leave, right? And I always had this anxiety and stress that if I didn't text a certain way or if I didn't do this a certain way, that she would just leave. And, through working with you, I came to understand that that was actually just how I viewed myself. It wasn't actually necessarily something that, I was inherently doing like wrong. It was how, I viewed myself, how I looked myself in the mirror. And so I think that was one of the greatest things to solve because that anxiety and stress that I have with women is not there anymore because I now, have more of an abundance mentality. And then B, I no longer like stress over that stuff because I can tell when a woman's into me, and I can also like tell within myself that like I'm worthy, right? And so that stress of like, oh, is she gonna still like me? Oh, that's completely like gone away.
What would a snapshot of your dating life have been like, let's say in June of 2022? And what is a snapshot of it today in February of 2023?
In June, right, I didn't really know what to do fully. Like I was able to like attract, some girls here and there. I was still, of course, like, sleeping with girls, going on dates, but it was just nothing. Like, it didn't feel like there was anything there. There was any meaning or connection. But now, compared to when, like, I go on dates, I'm actually hanging out with a girl I've been talking to for a few weeks tonight. And just, like, the vibe and the connection is, like, there. Like, she's calling me a few times a week. She, like, wants to talk to me. She tells me that she misses me, like, and it's just, we just have this natural just vibe and energy that is just really nice. It's really like peaceful and it's just fun. Before, let's say like in June, if something like that were to happen, which it wasn't anyway, I would still get anxious and scared and nervous, being like, oh, is this going to go away? Oh, is she going to, like, I'm not worried about that now. And I think too, one of the big things that I've learned through working with you is like, I can talk to a few girls at once and not feel overwhelmed. Like I know how to handle it. I know how to like juggle it, to where back in June, that wasn't happening, but B, I would not have any idea what to do. Like it would just be overwhelming.
So are you saying to me then that you're not only connecting with women better, but you're seeing more women now than you were before?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
You've got this great connection with this woman that you're seeing, and it's nice, yep, and it's fun and it's comfortable. But you said that would not have happened last year. So if you'd have seen her last year, how do you think your interactions with her would have gone?
I think it would have been dry. I think it would have been dull, boring. We might have, like, me and her ended up meeting on like a dating app, and kind of through some of the stuff that you taught me about texting and how, you message girls on dating apps and whatnot. Well, I definitely didn't know that information last year. And so me and her, like, it might have never gotten off the ground. She might have ended up ghosting me on the dating app if it was last year.
I see, man. I see. So have there been any other benefits or changes to your life that you can think of as a result of working with me?
Yeah, I would say, in general, I'm more confident. I think also some of the stuff that me and you that we worked on wasn't also just necessarily stuff dealing with women. It was like confidence and believing in myself and seeing value in myself that then of course related to women, right? And so kind of just feeling like, oh yeah, like I have value within myself. You know what I mean? I have these things that I've accomplished and done that like make me, I guess, like more valuable that I wasn't seeing, right? I used to be very awkward, social anxiety, kid from a young age. And so that has stuck with me throughout my life. And I think a part of what we worked on was you kind of helped me like remove that feature, being like, no, you're a different guy now. You shouldn't be considering yourself like that type of guy that you used to be, if that like makes sense. But that's how I like view it.
That is the key of it for 99% of men. So the average man who thinks to himself, my dating life isn't going the way I want it to be, I need some sort of help, it really and truly fundamentally boils down to how he looks at himself in the mirror. That's pretty much it. And the fact that he doesn't really like what he sees, that colours his interactions with women, that colours the way he dresses, that colours the way he talks, the way he acts, whether or not he's going to reach in for a kiss, whether or not he's going to be confident or stilted when he does, the words that he's going to use on a dating app, it colours actually all of that. And that is actually the main thing. And most dating coaches, I say this having been around all of this stuff for like 20 years now, most dating coaches are concerned with the symptom rather than the root cause. So the root cause is, I don't love myself. And the symptom is, I don't know what to say to this girl. So then you cure the symptom by saying, well, you should say this and this and this and have this kind of body language and look her in the eye and pass this shit test and whatever. And that stuff works. It 1000% does. And I have used that stuff myself, and I do teach it when it's necessary. But if you actually go to the root cause, the symptom takes care of itself, because the symptom is only there because of the root cause. You remove the root cause, then all of a sudden you're with the girl and you're not worrying about what to say, because you actually just know what to say, and she feels that vibe and she loves it. So yeah, something I want to say is, there has been a massive transformation in you over the time that we spent working together. And it's really cool to see. It's very, very, very cool to see. I remember when we started working together and we were meant to, this was it. I was at Carnival. I was at Notting Hill Carnival. And I said to you, hey, I'm going to Carnival, so I'll get back to you on Monday. And you were like, yeah, cool. But then I guess you forgot that or something. And then you sent me a number of text messages, which they weren't aggressive at all, but you were very nervous because I think you thought that I was maybe running away with your money, or that I didn't have time to work with you, and you were like clearly quite agitated. And I remember saying to you at the time, like, firstly, I did let you know that I was going to be away this weekend, but secondly, the fact that you've responded like this to me lets me know how you're responding to women in similar situations, and they're definitely not finding that attractive.
Yep.
And in the past few months, again, I'm not saying this to like attack you or whatever. I'm saying this because I'm very proud and happy. Like the past few months, that has gone completely.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really, really good point, because, through working together, I look back at some of the interactions that I had with like women and being like, wow, I handled that completely wrong. And like, if I didn't handle it that way, who knows what could have happened? I could have been in a very happy relationship with that girl. And so it's definitely, eye-opening for sure.
Yeah. Something I'm quite proud of as well. So you came to me saying to me, Kieran, I want you to help me get a girlfriend, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you don't have a girlfriend right now, but you're incredibly happy. And the reason why you're incredibly happy, I think bears mentioning, because you wanted a girlfriend to help you feel secure. Like, I need this to feel good about myself. Now what you actually have is the ability to attract the women that you want, but you're also aware of the fact that you have to meet the woman that you want, which means that having the ability to attract the woman that you want doesn't mean that the woman that you want is going to be standing right in front of you.
Yep. Yeah, that's very true. I think too, like, one of the biggest things that I learned is that, like, through kind of like, you know, meeting different girls, hooking up with different girls, I realized that, like, I didn't just want a girlfriend. I think a lot of guys think that way, to where it's like, oh, here's a girl that's really into me, sweet, start dating, you know, post on your Facebook, etc. But at the same time, I realized that, like, no, that's not just what I want. I want, like, a real connection. So, you know, there's a few girls that I've, you know, hooked up with, and we had fun, and, you know, I still kind of stay in talks, but I just wasn't super into them. And, you know, I'm not going to settle down, especially because of the fact that now I feel like I have this abundance mentality, and I know how to just kind of, like, meet new girls, like, throughout my life. It doesn't feel that I need to be like, oh, well, here's a girl that's really into me, let me make sure I keep her around. Like, it doesn't feel like that needs to be, you know?
Right now, there's someone who's in Quebec, they're in Toronto, they're in Mississippi, they're in Johannesburg, Tokyo, God knows where. And they're going through something similar or something of their own, and they don't really have the level of success that they want with women, which is why they're listening. But there's something that's holding them back. They're scared, they're nervous, they're anxious, etc. What would you say to that guy right now?
I would say to go for it, and you know, to definitely give you a shot, because, you know, we only get, you know, at the end of the day, we only get one life. And I used to kind of think, like, oh, I remember that's why one of the reasons why, like, I was so nervous to work together in the beginning, because, like, oh, you know, what if this doesn't, you know, change me? What if it, you know, doesn't work? And the truth is, I think that's one of the great reasons of how you work, is that you look at an individual. You don't just have this, like, you know, plug and play, like, camp or something like that. It's really just like, let me find out what is this individual's sticking points. And so that really solves the issues. And yeah, I'm definitely grateful for sure that I did it, because the anxiety and stress of, like, not having to worry about, like, all these different things that I didn't understand with women is really powerful.
Yeah.
So I would say, you know, go for it, you know, at the end of the day.
Something like dating or anything that's really, let's say, large and in depth, and there's so much to know, it can feel overwhelming. So it's like, I started learning all of this stuff when I was about 18. So, and when I was 18, I didn't really consider things. I just kind of dove in. And it's like, if I had to start now, knowing that I wouldn't know everything I know now, that would be so intimidating. Like, where the hell do I start? Where do I begin? I just have no clue. So to anyone who's listening, even if it's not me, if you are lost, if you are like, I am not sure, you really need an expert. You need someone who has the information that you don't have, and has the knowledge that you don't have, to point out where you're going right and where you're going wrong. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I had a call with a coach. And at that time, I had this sticking point, which was that I would have conversations with women, and I'd know that they were attracted to me. I knew it. I could tell all of the signs of attraction. They're laughing, they're giggling, they're twirling their hair, all of that stuff. They're definitely attracted. But after that conversation, I'd never hear from them ever again. Well, I mean, they would never call me or message me. Or let's say if we were speaking on the phone, we'd have like a great chat on the phone, and it was brilliant. But then the next day I'd message them and they'd just ghost me. And it would be like hell on earth to try and get these women back on the phone again. So even though they absolutely loved the call that we had, even though we were talking for like an hour. And I spoke to a coach about this, and he goes, Kieran, there's attraction and there's comfort. You have pure attraction, you have no comfort. That was one of the most powerful things anyone ever told me. And I'm sure I've spoken to you about attraction and comfort. But the point is, if he didn't tell me that, how long would it have taken me to realize I was making that mistake? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5. I'd probably have figured it out by now, but my God, how long would that take? So, and to anyone who's listening, don't feel like, oh, I would do it on my own. I'll do it on my own. You can do loads of things on your own. You could learn to drive a car on your own, but it's quicker, infinitely quicker to have an expert guide you through. But yeah. Thank you to you, though. Thank you to you. If is there anything else you want us to say before we wrap it up?
No, I think I'm happy I got a lot of the pros that I wanted to definitely say, because this has helped me a lot. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you to the person who's listening. And yeah, bye-bye.